Hey everybody, how are you today? It's me, Mrs. Snook. So today was our first day back in class for hybrid students. And those of you that have chosen to stay home and do remote learning, that's awesome too. And we're starting our new unit. And as we start our new unit, this is going to be on chapter 5 and 6 together. We're going to be learning about the Gilded Age. So in your notebook, or if you like to type your notes, however you like to do it, I want you to make a KWL chart. And we made one of these before at the beginning of the last unit. It was actually 2 units ago when we did our Civil War unit. But at the beginning of each unit, I like you to think about, what kind of background information do you already have on a topic? How much do you know about it? We're starting a new quarter. It's important to kind of start with a clean slate. Make some new goals for yourself. What are you going to do differently this quarter? So if you got yourself in a hole and you didn't do your work, I hope you're doing it right now. And I hope you're watching this video, and I hope you're taking notes, and you're going to email me if you have questions. And since you're a remote learner, you're going to attend your Google Meets, and you're going to do those things. And if you're struggling, I hope you're going to let me know. Now, for the KWL chart, it's really just kind of like a pretest to see what you already know about this topic. So at the top, I want you to label it Industrial Revolutions. And it looks like it's got a little bit of a glare. It looks like it's kind of hard to see. But I've got the K for what you already know on the topic, the W for what do you wonder about, what are you curious about, what do you want to learn more about, and then we're going to come back and fill out the L column, or what you learned later. So remember, this is what you know. Looks like my marker's dying. This is what you know, what you wonder about, or want to know, and later we'll come back and fill out the learned. So take a couple of minutes, pause the video. Think about when I say the words Industrial Revolution, what do you already know about this topic? Okay? Think about, what does the word revolution mean? If you don't know, it means change. A lot of kids, when they hear the word revolution, they think that it's like a war or a conflict because they think of the American Revolution. But in reality, it's about change. Okay? And when we talk about industrial stuff, we're talking about factories, we're talking about businesses, so we're talking about a change in how Americans make money, and we're talking about a change in industry, okay? So really in America's history, we focus on 2 major industrial revolutions, the first one and then the second. Do you know when they started, or what key inventions there were, or who the famous inventors were, how it changed America? Try to see what you can come up with. And I also want you to come up with some questions. So if you're saying to yourself, I don't know, my nose is driving me crazy, guys. Sorry, after wearing that mask all day, I feel like I have to blow my nose constantly. I'm trying not to touch my face, but I feel like it's happening. But if you're sitting there saying, I don't know anything about this topic, then you should have a lot of questions. Like, when did this happen? Why did it start in America? How long did it last? Who were the famous people? How did it change America? Did it affect women and men equally? Did it happen in all the cities? Like, whatever your questions are, you should have them. So right now, try to come up with a couple of things that you already know and a couple of things that you wonder about. Feel free to hit pause. All right, well, I'm assuming you're back at this point. And at this point, you should have written down a couple of things that you knew. I'll tell you in class today that we had a variety of things. I got answers today like there was a first versus a second industrial revolution. And then a lot of kids named inventions today. We had kids naming inventions like airplanes, the telephone, the light bulb. And then we also had a couple of kids who realized that life was not necessarily better because of the Industrial Revolution, that some people actually resisted the change, and that in some ways it made life worse for people because even though new products are coming out, it's expensive, they can't afford these products, and life in the factories was difficult. Some people said that factory life was difficult. This is why I type stuff. My handwriting's terrible, so it says, first versus second industrial revolution, planes, telephones, light bulb, and then down there that says factory life was difficult. So And whatever you came up with is fine. You don't have to have the stuff on that list. But that was just some of the stuff that was very common in today's lecture. As far as what you wonder about, what you're curious about, I hope you have some of those questions that I mentioned. Maybe like, who are the famous people? So who are the inventors? Or maybe some of your questions were like, how did this impact America? So I've got, who are the inventors? How did this impact America? Right? So whatever questions you came up with, hopefully will get answered during the next couple of weeks. And if we don't, please let me know because I want to answer your questions. And then at the end, we'll come back and fill out the Learn column. But as we go through chapter 5 and 6, you're going to begin reading those chapters. You should have already done the vocabulary assignment and the Ed puzzle. If you haven't yet, please get those done. It's going to give you some important background information and vocabulary words that you need to know for this chapter. If you are a hybrid student, then you should have your work done when you come to class. If you're a remote student, I gave you guys till the 20th at midnight to get that vocab done and that Ed puzzle. But you're going to want to get those done as soon as possible. And then you can really start focusing on, moving forward. So in today's lesson for the 19th and 20th here of October, if you're a remote learner, they've kind of grouped you in Group 2, Group B, so to speak, with the kids who have last names of L to Z. And so, your assignments are due tomorrow. So that would be the Ed puzzle and the vocab. But if you're remote, you've got to midnight. If you're hybrid, it should be due when you come to class. And you are going to watch my lecture here in just a minute. I'll have a separate lecture video, which has our beginning of our chapter notes in there. Some things that you'll need to write down. And then there's really no assignment today, just to start kind of reading the chapter. Now on Wednesday, I'll post another lecture. It'll be long. You'll want to start working on your bookwork for the chapter. And you'll want to start working on your next assignment, which is the Captains of Industry versus Robber Barons assignment, which is due on Thursday for Group A, Friday for Group B, and for remote learners. And yeah, you'll want to attend tomorrow's Google Meet to get some more information. All right, well, that's it for now on this one.